the global wild boar crisis. Beneath moonlit forests and rolling farmland, a quiet war rages. From the rugged mountains of Turkey, to the grain valleys of France, to the wide-open plains of Texas, wild boars are on the move, unstoppable, intelligent, and dangerously adaptable. This is not just a hunting story. It is a tale of survival, of human emotion stretched thin, of communities defending their homes against a relentless force of nature. Turkey's unseen battlefield. Late autumn. The call comes in with alarming urgency. Dozens of wild boars are tearing through farmland near Denizli, Turkey. Fields flattened. Families terrified. This is not a sport. This is an emergency. Arrival and first contact. Our team boards a midnight flight from the US, hearts racing. As we touch down, the cold dawn smells of damp soil and worry. Farmers greet us not with smiles but with pleading eyes. One mother whispers, "Every night we hear them. My children wake screaming." Her voice shakes, but her resolve is unbroken. Planning the pursuit. Seasoned Turkish hunters spread maps across a wooden table. We chart wind directions, moon phases, and the boar's habitual trails. Every decision must be precise. The air hums with tension as rifles are checked and rechecked. The hunt begins. Under a pale sunrise we step into the rugged hills. Movement. A shadow slides through the mist. I steady my breath and line up my sights. One crisp shot, then another from my teammate. Two massive boars collapse. A silent cheer swells in my chest, not triumph, but relief. Moments later, the grass quivers again. A lone giant charges. Dogs bark furiously as it bursts from the brush, tusks flashing. The earth seems to tremble beneath its weight. I raise my rifle. One heartbeat. One shot. Silence. Chaos in the cornfields. The night is far from over. Word reaches us of a herd hiding in a cornfield during harvest. We sprint through rows of dry stalks, every step crackling. Then, bedlam. Boars explode in every direction, a living flood of muscle and fury. Bullets pierce the night air. The ground shakes with the stampede. When the dust settles, only one is down. The rest vanish into darkness, proving this battle is far from finished. A farmer wipes his brow and says softly, "Tomorrow, they will return." His words hang heavy as we plan for dawn. France, the alarming rise. Far to the west, another crisis unfolds. In Allier, France, endless grain farms are under siege. Boar populations have doubled, tearing irrigation lines and spreading disease. Joining the French hunt. 40 hunters form a united front. We split into small squads, each covering critical choke points. I crouch behind a thick hedge, heart thudding. A lone boar steps into view, ears twitching. One clean shot. It falls. The operation surges forward. Soon the ground vibrates with the thunder of an entire herd. Branches snap like gunfire. Boars burst from cover, charging with fearless precision. Shots echo across the fields. It feels less like a hunt, more like a desperate defense of home and harvest. Texas, night of the giants. Across the Atlantic, Texas faces its own nightmare. Millions of feral hogs roam free, devastating crops and wetlands. As dusk settles, we ready advanced thermal gear, our only ally in the pitch black. The bait and the ambush. I scatter grain across an open orchard. Soon, glowing heat signatures bloom on the thermal screen. Massive shapes emerge, snouts down, oblivious. The first shot rings out, one boar drops instantly. The herd panics, chaos erupting as they crash through brush and thorn. We track them deeper into darkness. Every flash of movement spikes adrenaline. With steady hands and controlled breathing, we fire again and again. Each shot is precise, necessary, yet every fallen animal carries a strange sorrow. Human hearts, heavy choices. This is more than hunting. It is the weight of responsibility. Farmers speak of ruined harvests, empty barns, and sleepless nights. Children whisper fears of tusks scraping against doors. A Texas rancher, tears streaking his dustcoat face, tells me, "I hate this. But if we don't stop them, we lose everything. My family, my neighbors, we all lose." His words pierce deeper than any rifle shot. Searching for a better way. Scientists warn that pure eradication is futile. Wild boars breed with astonishing speed. One sow can birth up to 12 piglets twice a year. Every hunt buys only a brief reprieve. Innovative solutions. High-tech fencing, solar-powered barriers now deter intrusions with minimal harm. Contraceptive baits. Researchers test humane methods to slow population growth. Community tracking apps. Farmers share real-time sightings, forming living networks of vigilance. These ideas offer hope, but require funding, cooperation, and patience. Wild boars are more than a nuisance. They are survivors, clever, resilient, and a reminder of nature's untamed force. But for the people whose lives they upend, admiration is tempered by fear and grief. The night sky over Turkey glitters cold and bright as we pack our gear. Tomorrow the boars will return, and so will we. This is not about trophies. It is about protecting families, crops, and the fragile line between civilization and the wild. If you believe coexistence is possible, share this story. Comment below. 1. If you've faced wild boars in your community. 2. If you support advanced, humane solutions. 3. If you have ideas we haven't tried. Like and subscribe to stand with those on the front lines of this global struggle. Because this is more than a hunt. It is the fight to keep our fields alive and our hearts connected to the wild. Predators at the edge, humanity's fierce battle to coexist with wildlife. Every shadow in the wilderness hides a story. A farmer's sleepless night, a hunter's patient watch, a rescuer's frantic race against fire. Tonight, we journey through the untamed frontiers, where human survival and wild instincts collide. Texas versus the wild boar. The Texas moon hung low as we pushed forward relentlessly, refusing to let a single wild boar escape. Each echoing shot felt like a heartbeat of the land itself. For every shadow that crumpled, another emerged from the dark mesquite brush. At last, the herd leader appeared, massive, defiant, eyes glinting with ancient will. One precise shot dropped it to the earth, sending the rest scattering into the blackness. Silence followed, heavy and strange. Here, the fight is more than a hunt. It's about protecting fragile farmlands that feed thousands, where every acre of crops lost can mean a family's ruin. Farmers speak with a mix of sorrow and resolve. It's never joy. It's necessity. If we stop, our children won't have food next season. Grace and dilemma, giraffes of the savannah. Shift to the golden savanna of Africa, where giraffes move like quiet dreams across an endless horizon. Their gentle eyes reflect millennia of evolution, yet even here, hard choices emerge. Conservation success, numbers climbing back to around 68,000 wild giraffes after years of decline. The difficult question, some regions authorize regulated population control hunts to prevent habitat strain. Rangers explain that overpopulation leads to food scarcity and habitat collapse, endangering other species too. A ranger whispers, almost apologetic. We don't hunt for trophies. We act to keep the land alive, for the giraffes themselves. But emotions run deep. Watching a creature of such elegance fall is a wound to the heart. Ethical debate burns worldwide. Is it true stewardship or a betrayal of wild innocence? The monkey siege in South Africa. Now to South Africa's Cape Peninsula, where intelligent, mischievous monkeys challenge human patience and pocketbooks. Farmers awaken to stripped vineyards and raided cornfields, 40% of annual harvests lost in some areas. Safety teams suit up in bite-proof gear, hunters wield legal permits and precision rifles. Yet many farmers plead for non-lethal options, motion sensors, bamboo watch platforms, GPS trackers. The conflict isn't hatred. It's desperation. As one farmer says through tired eyes, I'd rather guard than kill, but my children must eat. America's triple threat, bears, foxes, and boar. Across the United States, 3 invaders test human grit. Black bears in Alaska. Winter pushes them into towns. Kitchens raided, $20,000 crop losses per farm, and an ever-present fear of a midnight encounter. Hunters, guided by strict quotas, must respect the bear's power and intelligence. Red fox raids. Silent, clever, capable of wiping out entire poultry flocks overnight. Night hunts require extreme patience and precision, every shot a moral weight. The wild boar rampage. South Carolina alone bleeds over $12 million yearly to these relentless rooters. Boars charge with terrifying speed, hunters know one mistake can be fatal. Would you face a 300-pound boar in the dark woods? Inferno in California. January 7, 2025. The Palisades fire erupted near Los Angeles, fanned by 70 miles per hour Santa Ana winds. Within days, 23,000 acres burned, destroying 12,300 structures and causing over $50 billion in damage. But beyond human loss, the wildlife toll is heartbreaking. Over 400 wild animals killed in a single day. Horses rescued by frantic neighbors as flames closed in. A lone, burned koala, its eyes mirroring a landscape of suffering. Here, the enemy isn't an animal. It's our own changing climate. A force we helped ignite. Residents now speak of restoration and resilience, replanting native species, and building community fire plans to protect both people and animals. Alligator tensions in Louisiana. In the misty swamps of Ravenwood, floodwaters lure giant alligators, some 18 feet long, into the edges of town. Underwater fences bend and break under their might. The community answers with regulated hunts, blending tradition with strict U.S. Fish and Wildlife rules. Each captured gator provides food for local families, turning danger into survival. Yet hunters describe moments of sheer terror. Even tied and blindfolded, you feel its strength like a living storm. Wolves of Montana. Far north, wolves move like living shadows, coordinated and cunning. With natural prey dwindling, livestock become targets, 80% of attacks striking at night. Generations of ranchers rely on traps and regulated hunting to protect their livelihoods. Trapping is a craft of patience. Clearing snow for an MB750 trap. Anchoring a 10-foot chain to withstand a wolf's strength. Checking twice daily to ensure both effectiveness and humane treatment. Hunters must report every harvest to stop illegal pelt trading and keep populations stable. A rancher confides, voice heavy. I respect the wolf. I fear losing everything more. Heart versus survival. Across continents and climates, one truth emerges. We are not separate from nature, we are tangled within it. Fear of a charging boar. Grief for a giraffe brought down to save its own species. Hope in a rescued horse, a replanted forest, a returning herd. Coexistence is not a single act. It's an unending negotiation between human need and wild instinct. If these stories moved you, consider supporting wildlife conservation funds, advocating for humane population management, practicing fire safety and habitat protection in your own community. Because every choice we make, every fence we build, every forest we save, decides whether the wild remains a neighbor or becomes a memory. Thank you for joining this journey through shadow and flame, tooth and claw. Like, share, and subscribe to stand with those who protect the delicate balance of life. Until next time, stay aware, stay inspired, and remember, the wild still watches, and it watches us.